Heartbreaks, brilliance, qualifications already, and of course, goals. The weekend has been pure box office. Welcome back to the World Cup 2026 report. We've got all the key stories from the last weekend and the full preview of the fixtures ahead. Joining me once again, our co-host Farid Khan. Great to have you back, Farid.
Great to be here, Michelle. How are you doing?
All good, Farid. In football, I know you too well now to doubt if anything managed to slip past you from the latest action. Let's learn your takeaways from the main matches that took place the past 2 days, starting with United States versus Australia. Now, the hosts are qualified, scoring 6 goals now. How far do you think they can go?
I think they are in terrific form, and a lot of people did not expect USA to perform this well. Obviously, they are the hosts, they have the crowd backing, but the way Mauricio Pochettino's team has responded, I think this is terrific and they can really go far. I won't be surprised if they get a favorable draw and reach the quarterfinals. I really don't want to predict too much too early, but they can do it.
Farid, one more technical question about USA. Do you feel Pochettino's technical touch, or is just some physical endurance and mental toughness?
I think they are very well aware of the conditions. Most of them have played in the MLS as well. They have played in these stadiums. They know the crowd backing and they actually have held their nerve very well. Obviously, Pochettino is very experienced, has got a lot of experience in the Premier League, in the Champions League, and he is very highly rated. He has come from up the ranks. So definitely he has helped them, but I do believe that USA are punching above their weight, just as we see with Mexico. It has to do with crowd support. We saw South Korea in the 2002 World Cup. These host nations, they do punch above their weight when they are playing in front of their home fans.
True. Scotland versus Morocco. Another good performance from Morocco. Are they now favorites to top this group, knowing that their final match is versus Haiti?
I think very disappointed by Scotland in that match. Almost fell asleep watching them play. I did not expect them to be so dull and so boring. Although Morocco were the only team that were trying to get a result from that match, the only team that was playing actual football. But Scotland, obviously having won the first match against Haiti, a very close win, 1-0 win. They still are a defensively solid team. They do not give a lot of goals away and their eyes are on just qualifying for the next round. So I was expecting a low scoring match, but Morocco definitely one to look out for. The African champions, I'm not sure if they are the champions or Senegal are, but definitely Morocco is going to be one to watch out for. And just like in the last World Cup, the highest ranked African team, you cannot count them out. You just have to give them a chance.
The other match in this group, Brazil versus Haiti. Now everything was settled from the first half. Cunha on target. It was expected, wasn't it?
Stunning performance by Brazil, and this is what we like to see of Brazil. Rafinha's injury may have taken the sheen of that game, but Neymar expected to play the next match. Hopefully, if he does play, he can play a part. But Manchester United forward Cunha, a superb performance by him. We saw performances from Richarlison and Vini Jr. in the last World Cup as well. I think Vini Jr. has done well along with Cunha in this World Cup, and it is great to see the Brazilian forwards firing because they need to fire. I'm not really a fan of their defense, but I really want flair from Brazilians. Just as we have seen in the past decades, Brazilians are known for their flair, the way they play their football, the way they express themselves on the field. This is what we are seeing so far, and once Neymar is added to this team will only get stronger provided he stays fit. So really looking forward to Brazil, and this is more like the Brazil we know.
Turkey versus Paraguay. Now, the Turkish keeps on failing to score versus teams playing a low block defense most of the game. Were they not prepared for this?
I think to break the low block, it's not really easy. You know, teams playing deep, teams playing 5 defenders, 3 centre backs sometimes. It really is tough. You need to come up with a strategy or a tactic to probably break that down. But that is no excuse. If you just see the scorecard, you will say Paraguay may be the better team. But see the match summary, see the analysis of the game and see where Turkey lagged. You won't believe that Turkey was a team that lost this match. If you see the shots on target, if you see the possession, if you see the final third, Turkey were on top. They should have won that match. The only thing lacking was the goal. And even though Paraguay were down to 10 men, it was really hard to watch Turkey. They were not able to penetrate and not able to score. That final third output was missing. Turkey, very, very disappointing in both matches. They have only themselves to blame. In both matches, they were the better team on paper and looked the better team on the field, but just lacked the goals.
And Almiron is the first victim of the new rules?
Yeah. Absolutely. You can't hide your face. You can't, pretend to say something that you don't want to say, actually. So this is a rule that probably may feel a bit harsh to some players because that's instinct. Players are used to reacting the way Almiron did. Players have been doing that for a number of years. So to forget this habit, it will take time. And sometimes it's not in the back of your mind that this rule's in place. So can't really, blame Almiron. I'm not really doubting his intentions, but you can't do that anymore. So the players who have taken notice of it need to be wary of this. You really can't be hiding your face anymore in football.
True. Farid, Netherlands versus Sweden. Now, I'm sure you can see the smile on my face and I can see the smile on yours. There was 4 Liverpool players on the pitch. They could have been 5 if Ronald Koeman had called Jeremy Frimpong. Your intake from the match?
Yeah. I know you must have enjoyed the match, and Gakpo scoring 2 goals. Really happy for him. He has been in terrific form in the Netherlands shirt. Not as much for Liverpool, but he's a different player when he's playing for Netherlands. And now people are trying to push them as dark horses. After the first match, when they conceded 2 goals from Japan, people were not really impressed by Netherlands. But now even Zlatan Ibrahimovic talked about Netherlands as one of the contenders. So now people are seeing them as an actual team that can go deep down. But that is Netherlands for you. They're always like this in group stages. As we already discussed, they haven't lost a football match in World Cups in 90 minutes since 2006. So that says a lot. They have been consistent at this stage. It is the knockouts when the pressure comes. Can they deliver this time around? It will be interesting to see, but very well done, Ronald Koeman. The substitutions that he did in the second half against Japan, he was criticized for his tactics, and now he actually made amends.
On the same night, Germany versus Ivory Coast. Now, the Germans are back after 2 consecutive first-round elimination. What do you think was different this time?
I think there is less pressure on the Germans. There's too much to talk about. There's France with Mbappe. Obviously, there's Messi and Argentina. Then it's the last World Cup for Cristiano Ronaldo. Then Spain with Yamal, very, very highly rated. People are talking about other teams. And, suddenly, Germany are making their presence felt. If you talk about Havertz, if you talk about Undav coming from the bench once again and making an impact. So I do believe that this time around, Germany are not the favorites to win the World Cup. And because of less pressure, they are doing well. If you tip them as the favorite team, as they were a couple of editions back rather, and even in the last World Cup, there were a lot of expectations from them. But now I think the expectations are low this time and they're benefiting from it.
I see. Japan versus Tunisia. Now, Japan doesn't just have a great defensive organization. They can also attack, they can dominate, and they can score.
Loved the performance from the Blue Samurai, and this is what we have known Japan for. I talked about the pressing, I talked about the intensity in the last match against Netherlands. I thought it was missing. This time around, they did not give Tunisia a sniff, and Tunisia actually changed their coach. They still conceded 9 goals in 2 matches. So I don't think it was a wise decision to change your manager or coach during the World Cup. It did not pay any dividends. But Japan, even though they are missing the likes of Minamino, Mitoma and Endo, missing 3 key players and yet performing so well, I think they are really going to be one very difficult team to beat going forward. And they can upset, I don't want to say upset, but they can defeat any team, any higher ranked team on their day, and they could cause serious headaches to some favorites in the knockout stages.
I can't wait to ask you in the next rounds when they will face Brazil, most probably in the round of 32.
Yeah.
But for now, Ecuador versus Curacao. Very disappointing from Ecuador, but Curacao got their first World Cup point.
Absolutely elated for the 78-year-old Dick Advocat, elated for Curacao, elated for all their fans. The population they have, we all talk about 155,000 population, very small country to play the World Cup, but the way they have performed, even in the first match against Germany, everyone was talking about Curacao, even though they lost 7-1 and now they made it possible. They could have won that even. I really wouldn't be surprised if they had won that match, but the way that they defended till the end made sure they got that valuable point. And once again, Dick Advocat was in tears. In the first match, when the national anthem was played, he was in tears. And now when he got that point, that valuable point, and then how they celebrated in the dressing room, I think they have that Dutch connections everywhere. And the way that they celebrated, it was so good to see.
Spain versus Saudi Arabia. I have one thing to say. Spain just reminded everybody who they are and what they can do.
Yes, you cannot write off the Spanish team. People were not really rating them after the first match, but it was just the first match. Now we know what Spain are capable of. They have shown their true colors. This is what Spain has been known for a number of years. They are the European champions, and then Lamine Yamal on the score sheet. His first ever start in the World Cup, his first ever World Cup goal at the age of 18. Interestingly, 14 years younger than Lionel Messi when Messi scored his first ever goal in the World Cup almost 20 years ago. And Lamine Yamal has done exactly that. All eyes on him now. That is the Lamine Yamal we know. The link-up play, the way that he was engaging with other forwards in the final third. He looked absolutely stunning. He looked like scoring, he looked like assisting, and he is one that we can count on in the next matches. And probably he's once again in the race for the Golden Boot. Although he just scored one goal, but I can feel he has a lot more goals in him.
I see. At just 18 years old, he seems like he's going to break all kind of records. Farid.
Absolutely, just like Mbappe. Mbappe was 18 as well in his first World Cup.
Uruguay versus Cape Verde. Now, with Vozinha's mother in the stands, another heroic performance from Cape Verde, and another point. And now qualification is suddenly very, very possible.
Absolutely, they could still qualify as the third best team. Let's see if they do, but what a point that is. Again, another match that could have gone either way. They must have won that. I don't know what the Uruguayan keeper was doing. He was off his line. He was probably doing a sweeper keeper's role, maybe trying to be Manuel Neuer, but he gave a lot of chances to Cape Verde and they actually got two of them. So well done to them, but Marcelo Bielsa would be gutted by the performance of Uruguay. Although he says that Spain are not untouchable, probably Uruguay can still get a result against Spain in the next match, but the way that they have performed in the first two matches, terrible performance on paper. They should have won both these matches. But Curacao and Cape Verde, even Congo, these are the stories for this World Cup. What a performance.
Yeah, and you know, they are well positioned now. They are a better position than Uruguay. They have the same number of points, but Uruguay still has Spain to play. They have Saudi Arabia to play.
That is a very valid point, and Uruguay have a very stiff task in front of them. Although you can say they can beat Spain, but the way Cape Verde have been performing, they should defeat Saudi Arabia. I'm not talking about a draw from this match. The way they have got points against the European champion Spain and two-time World Cup winners Uruguay, you cannot write off Cape Verde. You're very right. They have a better chance than Uruguay to qualify, even as the second best team in this group.
Thank you, Farid. Always a pleasure to go through the matches with you. We'll catch up again on Wednesday. Let's now take a quick look on the matches ahead. Argentina versus Austria, a match for the first position of Group J. And all eyes will be on the little guy. One more goal and he will be the World Cup all-time top goal scorer. France versus Iraq. Speaking about the little guy, guess who is following him very closely and chasing him down with 14 goals? Kylian Mbappe can make history in this match. Is it going to be easy for France? Norway versus Senegal. Erling Haaland and co can qualify to the next round with a win here. Senegal, on the other hand, should be able to avoid a loss. Portugal versus Uzbekistan. A lot of negative vibes are happening in the Portuguese camp, and especially on social media. Will this affect the national team? Will Cristiano Ronaldo start this match? Will he play the full 90 minutes? England versus Ghana. The Three Lions made a powerful statement and sent messages to all teams after their first match versus Croatia. They are very much expected to do the same versus Ghana. Antoine Semenyo will meet some familiar faces in this one. That's it for today. We'll see what stories unfold over the weekend, and we'll be here on Wednesday to discuss it all. Until then, keep enjoying the games.